Okay, I'm putting my color on my palette here, and what I use is a chalk pastel. I don't use oil pastel, just the chalk. I like Grumbacher, but I've been using that for years. I like pastels because they're just micro thin, real fine particles, and they seem to go into the sculpting real well. You can use face makeups and blushes and so forth. That works good also, but I just really prefer the pastels. And of course, I used to work in pastels, so I have a lot of pastels left over, so they came in handy. My palette consists of, as you can see, many flesh colors, and I have peaches and pinks and reds and rose colors and so forth, and this is all the different shades that I will use on a particular doll, as well as my brown palette, which I keep separate from the other one, and this is all my browns and grays and charcoals and so forth, and these are my colors that I'll be using when I do color up the face. I use, push this back a little bit, a brush that is, it's this poor pathetic brush. This brush, believe it or not, used to be like this brush. This is a regular makeup brush. I mean, I've cut it down a little bit over the years, but this is so old and I've had it for so long that it's whittled down to practically nothing. But it's at the perfect consistency. I mean, the pastel is just packed in there tight, so that's just the way I like it, and it allows me to color really good hitting it like this. So I start off with, I use an assortment of brushes, by the way, but this is my main one that I color up. And this is only the one that I use for just the flesh tones, not the darker colors. When I mix from my palette, I start off with my lighter colors, with peaches, and I mix. I do a lot of mixing and combining of colors. So I just start coloring all over. And I like this flat, small brush like that that's all packed in there because it allows me to really press hard against the head, which gives more color instead of just a light. You know, if you were to go like this with something, the color's not going to stick in the Sculpey very well. You have to really work it in there. So I start coloring up the cheeks, tip of the nose, chin, don't forget the ears, the jawline. Actually, I color everywhere on the head except usually the crown up here, because that's going to be underneath the hair. And since I spray, I don't really want the spray on the top part of the head. Okay. I'm just going to take one of my smaller brushes, blow off some of the excess, and I just come in here and get in the areas that I can't get with a bigger brush. Little tiny areas. Then I'll take a smaller brush. Let's see, there's a good one right there. Take some of my gray. As a matter of fact, let me move this out of the way. Bring my brown palette over. Now what I usually do at this point is take, and right underneath the eyes, take a little bit of the light gray and go underneath the eyes. Now again, that would represent the thin skin, and that's another place that the skin tends to thin, is right underneath the eyes. So you don't want too much, but you want just enough. I'll take a little bit of my brown and highlight in certain areas here. I do a lot of acrylic washes, and I color in my lines and so forth, mostly with that. But I like a little bit of the soft coloration in some of the lines.